Welcome back. I'm Felix, and I was just going through YouTube looking for. I was actually looking for a Reddit writing prompt story to listen to and react to, because I was trying to do more than just the "Am I the a-hole?" And Comfort Level podcast popped up, posted 7 hours ago, and the tagline caught my attention. It said "Update after 7 years." I was like, "Oh, I don't think I've ever seen one that big of a difference." So I was like, I'm going to watch this and see what's going on. Looks like it's they might just do a recap and then it's just response after that. Oh no, then they do the update. So then response after that. Let's see. So what is that? Like, is that 20 minutes? That might be about 20 minutes. So let's I want to hear this. Like I said, I've never seen one this far before. What is that? Why'd that pop up?
Oh, and he's like,
Oh, I got to fix my sound.
"Ooh, geez, excuse me."
Am I the asshole for blowing up at my sick husband when he asked for help with our toddler?
Blowing up on him?
Well, it says sick husband. I mean, if he's sick, what kind of sick is he? I mean, I've been sick to take care of my kids, but sometimes if you're sick to the point where you're in the bathroom, hey, I need some help. I'm in the bathroom. I can't get out.
Probably. Am I the asshole for blowing up at my sick husband when he asked for help with our toddler? Our toddler was sick through the weekend. I was up with him one night from 12:15 to 2:45 a.m. and
Wait a minute. Am I the blame for blowing up at my sick husband? Okay, sick husband. Let's see.
next.
Sorry, I was trying to speed read real quick because make sure I didn't misunderstand it. The husband's sick, but she's talking about the toddler was sick.
I probably got 10 to 12 hours of broken sleep through the whole weekend. Yesterday, my husband mentioned he was starting to feel a little sick. Last night, I went to bed early hoping to catch up on my rest. All throughout the night, my husband woke me up way more often than my toddler does, even on a bad night. Some of the times were not directly his fault, but other times I felt like he was just being inconsiderate. One,
Okay. I'm already mad. I don't know why. It feels like she's nitpicking. So he's sick. And the way it says he snored. A lot of times if you're sick, your nose gets clogged and you snore. Oh man, maybe I shouldn't watch this one.
he snored loudly in my ear. 2, he asked for another blanket because he had the chills, and I told him it was at the foot of the bed, and he asked for help and reminded me that he helps me when I'm sick and that he'd still do the morning routine with our son. 3, he had a nightmare and I had to shake him awake, which is normal. 4, he whispered at Alexa to ask for the time. 5, he asked for another blanket and I gave him mine.
He needs to go to the hospital. She's keeping track. I don't like this woman already. I really don't like her.
6, he made a phone call in bed and left a full volume voicemail to his work to let them know that he'd take a sick day. 7, at 5:30 in the morning, he woke me up to ask if I could do the wake up routine with our son. I do bedtime, he does wake up. At this point, I blew up. I expressed how mad I was that he woke me up all night long and now I have to wake up early to do what he said he'd still do. And I don't get to stay home and catch up on my sleep. He said I was in the wrong because marriage is in sickness and in health. I immediately got up to get ready. He said I didn't have to start getting ready so early. And I said, yes, I did, because I start work at 7:30. I barely make it to work on time when I wake up at 6. And now I have to unexpectedly skip my shower, get my toddler ready, get his food ready for the day, feed him breakfast, drop him off at daycare, and then take myself to work. I said he was a grown man with a cold, and he robbed me of the rest.
He had the chills. That's not just a cold. Oh my God.
That I needed, and that I'll be sleeping on the couch tonight. At that point, I asked for some space, and we haven't talked since. I was late for work, which is a big deal at my job. I might be the asshole for blowing up at my husband when he asked for support during an unexpected illness.
You are.
So am I the asshole for being mad at my sick husband? And then there's an update.
Yes.
Nah, I understand where you're coming from, especially if you still got to go to work in the morning and
No.
it's unexpected.
No. She is. She's the a-hole. I don't care. She's the a-hole. If my wife suddenly gets sick, I step up. If I suddenly get sick, I expect my wife to step up. So yes, she's the a-hole.
Calling you that morning.
Mm-hmm.
I understand your frustration.
Especially when it sounds like it's just a cold.
It's not just a cold. Were they not listening to the same story I was? Seriously, because he's talking about he was cold. He had the chill. It sounded like he had the flu.
Exactly.
I think
Oh no.
sometimes
No. Don't say it.
Say it.
I kind of
Say
forgot my thoughts, so you're lucky.
it. Sometimes when men are sick
And they take things.
they take, it's like,
go-
I think I'm going to skip through this because I'm already pissed off. I hate when people do that. I truly hate it because from what she described, he had the chills. If it's just a cold, you don't have the chills like that. It sounds like he had the flu or something like that. So yeah. Yeah, she's a-hole. I don't care. These two, I think, are definitely going to be on her side. And they really shouldn't be. And,
dramatic because they want to be taken care of. Oh, I remember my thought.
oh my gosh.
and I get the feeling those two guys are not going to say anything.
It's so funny to me. Like, do y'all acknowledge that men do that
No.
or no?
Well, what is it? A couple years ago, I had the flu, and I rarely get sick. So when I do get sick, it's like I don't know how to react to it sometimes. So it really depends on how sick I get. Like I had the flu, but everything in my body was refusing to accept the fact that I had the flu. So I tried getting up. I almost fell down one time because I was so tired. But like, I don't know. I think it's just every guy's different.
No. Okay. Here's where I'm like, I blame women for it.
Whoa.
Yeah. Let me say
We're
it.
blaming women.
I'm
Let's
blaming
hear
women.
this.
I gotta blame women because
I'm actually surprised that they're saying that much.
I do think there's some truth to it, but I think it's because of how women treat you when you're sick. When I was like, I think I was sick. It wasn't that bad, but I was sick. And my girlfriend at the time was like, oh my God, can I take care of you? And I'm like, yeah. And I like played into it because it like feels nice to be taken care of. So sometimes we like play it up a little bit. Just because it feels so nice to get
So
that
you're proving
comfort.
my point.
Yeah, but
There's
I'm like,
nothing wrong with
if y'all
that.
just like,
You just said there was. She just said there was. I think I'm pissed off about this because I hear that so often. I'm almost 50, and every time I hear that, it's just like you're lumping men all into this one category. It's like lumping women all into one category. And no, not all men do that. And guess what? Women do it too. So it's on both sides. Everyone's different. And in some cases, there are guys who will go and work through the cold, and sometimes it makes it worse. I mean, you can't. You just need a moment to get better. And it sounds like when she's sick, he steps up and takes care of her duties, and that's the part that none of them are talking about. He said he steps up when she's sick, but none of them are talking about that.
throw medicine at me and going, I'm like, okay, I'll talk through it. But I'm like, are you sick? I'm like, yeah, I'm like, nose is runny.
I need blink.
I need blink. I'm gonna do it because I don't do it a lot. I'm like, Brandon, I don't get sick that often, so I'm like, I'm gonna be a little baby. So thank you, women, for doing that.
Oh my god.
The fact that he just blamed women for that is crazy.
Women.
Insane. Like all you have to say is we like the nurturing
I love it.
nature of you guys,
And I
and when
wish
you guys
women
really
weren't
take
as
care of
nurturing.
it, so we play it up. He's like, I blame you
I do
guys. Like
blame
we did something to you.
Yeah, you took care of me, and you were sweet and nice.
That's
So you took
crazy.
advantage of that and acted more sick than you actually were?
Yeah, I did.
See, and I don't think there's like a problem necessarily with that because I get it, but it's when you're not doing the things that you said you're going to do,
No, he
like get
took
our
it too
son
far.
ready,
Yeah.
knowing that that's adding like a whole thing to my morning, and I still have to go to work.
The whole sleep thing. It wasn't just that you weren't doing what you were going to do. It's also if I'm sick, I'm knocked. I'm taking that quill. I'm out of here.
Not everyone sleeps when they're sick. Sometimes I've been so sick I couldn't sleep. Like I was dead tired, but I couldn't sleep. My body ached. I hurt. Probably because I had the flu. But yeah, it was horrible, and I couldn't sleep. And then by the time I fell asleep, it was like an hour before I had to wake up. And that's what it sounds like. From everything she described, it sounds like he wasn't sleeping. That's what I took from that. I don't know. It's every time I'll be honest with you. A lot of times when I watch these podcasts, one reason I actually wanted to start doing this, like watching other people's podcasts, because of stuff like this. And this is definitely an example where I don't agree with them, because from the description, he had the chills. He was tossing and turning. It sounds like he was moving around. When he did fall asleep, he was snoring, which he's probably not normally a snorer. So he wasn't getting a good night's sleep. He kept waking up. And that's why he asked Alexa what time it was. Because he's like, what time is it? Because he's not sleeping. He was wore out. He's tired. He's sick. And this was not just a common cold. From everything she described, it sounded like this man either had COVID or the flu. And he was not sleeping. So that's why I'm like, did they listen to the story? And I get the feeling they just already jumped to their own conclusions. So yeah, she's the a-hole. Because he also pointed out, she even admitted that he steps up. She put that in the story. He steps up when it's necessary to help her out when she's sick. When she's sick, he steps up. That's all he was expecting in return. That was it. And so yeah, she's the a-hole for blowing up like that. I get she had a rough night's sleep, but if it had been, I guarantee if this story was the other way around, they would call the guy the a-hole, because that's what usually always happens. If the story's the other way around, they call the guy the a-hole. You should understand she's sick, blah, blah, blah. So, and are there guys who fake colds? Yes. There are women who fake colds. People fake colds. People fake being sick. I've never been one of them, unless you count high school. Do we count school? Who didn't fake being sick to get out of school? But as an adult, it's not as easy to fake being sick because you got bills to pay. So I don't think this guy was faking the sickness. I think he was really sick from everything I think he may have got the flu, or if the baby was up in that, if he got what the baby had, who knows what the baby had. So there's that.
Waking up. And then I find out in the morning if I need to call in. I'm not doing it in the middle of the night.
He's doing errands. He's like,
It depends on what time he had to work. I've done that. Like because I had to be at work at like 7 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. I got to call off work. So
I'm not
every time
doing
she
any of
looks,
that.
he's like on the computer. He's like calling people. He's like, "Hey, what's up?"
So of course he couldn't do the morning routine because he was up all night when you should have been getting rest.
Yeah. And she said there was a few things where, that's normal, having a bad dream and snoring. But the whole asking
The
for
bad
blankets
dream took me
twice, and she's like, it's literally at the foot of your bed. And he's
Yeah.
like, well, I help you when you're sick. You help me reach
He's
down to
like,
my feet.
I can't reach it.
So
Well,
I don't think that's,
couldn't just use
yeah,
your
but
feet to pick it
obviously,
up?
yeah,
Okay.
something.
I don't know. That's what I said. If he had the flu, your body aches and it's hard to move. If he had COVID, he probably couldn't move at all. This stiffness and stuff. When my wife is sick, and let's say it covers the foot of bed, I actually will get it for her. I don't have a problem with that. I think that's the difference between me and them. Is like, I don't see the problem with it. My wife is sick. The cover's right there. I'll get it for her. She's like, I can't get the cover. Not a problem. I'll get it. Throw it on her. Vice versa. If I'm sick, she gets the cover for me. It's almost like there's a whole group of, well, there is a whole group of people that don't know what a relationship is. Like what a real relationship is. Things happen in relationships, and blowing up like that is not the answer. Have I ever blown up? Yes. But usually if I'm blown up over something, it's because of something I've repeated multiple times and I'm done repeating it. But, yeah, from that story, I'm not getting what they're getting at all.
And I don't think
Better
you're
get
the
the monkey
asshole.
paws out. That's what my feet looking like right now. So monkey paws.
Monkey paw is insane.
I don't think you're the asshole for being angry too, because I think sometimes we forget that we like watch little kids who cry and like throw tantrums because they're tired or hungry. We are still those same things when we're tired or we're hungry. We react more. This chick's had 12 hours of sleep over the weekend. You're tired. And so you blowing up, it's just a result of you literally have not slept. It's normal to react like that. And I think once you finally get some rest and you can talk, you'll be like, hey, bro, this was why I blew up.
I'm pausing a lot. Here's why I don't agree with his, not the asshole. Technically, she is the asshole. She's the a-hole. She is. Because like I said, if it was the other way around, they would have called the guy the a-hole. So.
You need to do more when you're sick. I can't do everything. You need to follow through with what you said because you did say that. That helps me. That helps the family overall. But I don't think you're...
Also, the truth is, whether they want to call the man cold or not, if he's actually sick, he actually shouldn't go near the toddler. I've had 2 kids. If you're sick, you're not supposed to go near the kids. Kids and elderly have a compromised immune system or weaker immune systems. So really, if he is sick, he should not be anywhere near that kid right now. And maybe that's also why it's pissed me off, because I know when kids are sick, yeah, you got to be around them because you're taking care of them. But when you're sick, you really shouldn't be around your kids because you can give it back to them and you could actually have something different or a stronger strain than what they had. So that's another thing. If there's 2 parents, the parent is sick really shouldn't be around the kid. And even by her own admission, he steps up. So probably when she's sick, he takes care of the kid.
in the moment as long as you talk after him like, this is why I got mad.
I agree.
And he knows.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so top comment, not the asshole. Being sick, working, and caring for a sick child is terrible, but your husband is an adult and needs to be somewhat self-sufficient and considerate. He can't help that he had a nightmare or snored, but waking you up for a blanket twice, asking for the time, and taking/making calls in the early hours from bed is incredibly self-centered.
I only heard that he made one call, and that was to call off work. I'm going to have to go back and look at this. Cause I'm still not getting what they're saying.
Okay, so there is an update. She talks about a lot of stuff, but to be honest, I'm just going to cut to the bottom.
Cut
All
to
right.
it.
Okay.
Cut the fat. Get the.
Yeah, cut the fat.
So, update, husband saw the comments and guaranteed me uninterrupted sleep going forward. I again offered to sleep on the couch, but he insisted he take it and the baby monitor. As a compromise, we'll be sleeping separately on weeknights and together on weekends unless I need to catch up on sleep or if one of us is sick. After seeing all perspectives, including husbands, all agree with an everyone sucks here verdict, with me being 20% the asshole. I had the right to be mad, but I should not have blown up. He should be able to ask for help, but within reason. I apologize for being snappy. He apologized for the wake-ups. No divorce lawyers necessary. I don't agree with everyone sucks here verdict. I can understand why she got upset, and I don't really think she's the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
I
so
think
either.
sucks is strong,
It's totally
yeah.
understandable.
Yeah. But it's maybe it's good the situation happened too, because you're kind of changing completely how you guys live, and if that's a helpful way, it was good this happened.
Yeah.
But she said the nightmares were normal. What does he have PTSD about is what I want to know.
I agree. Okay, so this last story is an update from 7 years ago. My then 29 female marriage to then 29 male is getting annulled in a few days, not sure what to do / think. Hey everyone, this is a 7-year overdue update, but I wanted to share how things turned out so many years later. About 7 years ago, I posted on my marriage getting annulled. This post is likely gone now, so here's a quick recap of the main issues. 1. Children. I made it clear before marriage that I never wanted kids ever. My ex agreed, but the moment we were married, he pressured me relentlessly every single day. He would put a stuffed toy under my shirt and say, "Isn't it nice to be pregnant?" Or say it would be cute to have a little child clinging to my legs. He also suggested getting a dog, which he later admitted was to encourage my maternal instincts, and then threatened to return her when I didn't change my mind.
What?
2.
That guy's crazy. That guy sounds narcissistic.
Other women. At a work event, a woman leaned on him, insisted on having dinner at her table, and later invited him to join her in her room's jacuzzi right in my face. He claimed she was crazy and that he didn't know her, and then changed his tune to that he barely knew her, but I checked his messages and found out they had been having breakfast and coffee together for a long time. There were more incidents like this, including him gaming just to meet a girl he had a crush on, or asking out 2 girls he used to have a crush on out of spite. I asked him if I could meet a guy friend and he said no, and then threw a fit that I even asked. I should have known better than to ask apparently.
Yeah, this guy's crazy. Good thing she's getting it annulled. Or did she get it annulled?
And refusing to cancel until I had a meltdown. 3. No responsibility. He had cheated on all of his exes and called them crazy. When I finally lost it and screamed at him, he told me I scared him and refused to acknowledge his part of our problems. He wouldn't stop seeing the coworker who started our issues and insisting it was important for networking. They are not even in the same department. In marriage counseling, I told him I'd consider kids if he created a concrete 18-year plan for their care. He refused, saying, "Just have the child and then we'll deal with it." The counselor sided with me, but he stormed out and never went back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a crazy one. I mean, did he hide his crazy that well? Usually people this crazy don't hide it that well.
My emotional struggles. Number 4. I behaved badly too, and I had issues regulating my emotions, often screaming, crying, and once throwing books in frustration. I look back and cringe in shame and embarrassment. There were more problems, so many of them, but these were the biggest issues. I was lost, heartbroken, and overwhelmed. Reading the comments were hard, and I think I deleted the post eventually to avoid facing them. To the commenters. To the Redditors who were kind and rational in their comments, thank you. Most of you told me to leave and that the marriage was toxic.
Yep.
That was hard to hear at the time, but you were so right. To the few who were rude, yes, wanting children is okay, but forcing someone who doesn't, tricking them into marriage isn't. And to the guy who implied my ex paid for everything, no, he didn't. My parents helped me with my master's fees. We went halvesies on the house, everything. Also, the person who suggested I had bipolar disorder, diagnosing a stranger online is irresponsible. I'm now a psychologist, and no, I don't have bipolar disorder. It's a tough, lifelong condition, and I really feel for those who have it. Emotional deregulation happens for many reasons.
I like it when people try to guess that what mental disease someone has. It's like you guessed all that from one thing, and going straight to bipolar. Bipolar is not something that you just play around with. It's not just something, oh, I'm bipolar. Yeah, there's usually issues, and there's always been issues when someone's bipolar.
Going through with the annulment. The annulment only confirmed my decision. My ex gaslit me constantly, to the point where I had to keep an evidence list to remind myself of the truth. He falsely accused me of stealing money from our accounts when all I did was take back my wedding gift money for my family, which he also did. He lied to a lawyer about my financial contributions, saying I paid only $60 for the house, but I had bank records proving otherwise. I paid
$60? Where did you come up with $60?
$70,000. His self-righteous lies were often so convincing that even I doubted myself at times. Referring to my evidence record sheet also helps. And she's going to talk about where she's at, but this is a little bit longer. I don't know if you guys want to comment on that right now. So this isn't an update that we followed, but I just thought it was interesting to hear an update from 7 years later. So I don't know if you guys have anything to add because, yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah, y'all definitely didn't need to be together. That's for sure.
That was
And I
it.
get they're telling us like the really bad things. I'm like, it doesn't seem like there was much attractive.
It sounds like the guy was crazy. But it's not like she had some issues too, but still, to get married and then be like, let's get pregnant after agreeing that you didn't want kids. Yeah, you don't agree not to have kids and then turn around and try to convince the other person to have kids. That never ends well.
With this guy.
That reminded me of another story. I read a story where the husband messed with the wife's birth control and got her pregnant. She found out what he did and she left. She left him and the kid. She signed away her parental rights. She's like, I didn't want kids, and left. And then later the kid goes to meet her like, why didn't you want me? Because the dad told her one story, and here the mother tells her the truth and says, but I sent money. And the daughter's like, what money? We were broke. And the biological mom's like, what do you mean you were broke? I sent this much money. And so the kid found out the dad was lying the whole time. And it's just blowing the money. So they don't know what happened to the money. It's like, so yeah, people who do this sort of thing, yeah, men and women who do this sort of thing are horrible people in my opinion. Because there are women who will do this too. Like the guy agrees to get married. They both agree not to have kids. Then, oops, I'm pregnant. It's like, well, yeah, then, but we agree no kids. But it's not right. And if you truly want kids, go have kids with someone else. Go have kids with someone who wants to have kids. It's that simple.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Good
Like,
in him.
especially, I wonder when she found out about the cheating. Because at least to me, that
One thing that stuck out to me when she was talking about the cheating, she was like, she referred to the woman as the one who started our issues. And I'm like, it's not a good mindset to have about that because she wasn't in a relationship with you.
Right.
He was.
Right.
one common denominator in all of his past relationships.
Yeah.
Well, because I think I was watching on Instagram some podcast. There's just like a big red flag to me is when people talk bad about their exes or they constantly bring up their exes. You're like, it's just like a tacky thing where even if they were Satan, you still being in it and constantly talking about it shows something about you where you're like,
Yeah, why are you still bringing up your exes? Especially if it's been a couple of years. Like, it's been 3 years. Why are you still talking about them? It's like, let go. It's time to move on. I mean, you don't have to forget about it, but don't bring it up around me. I'm not the ex. I don't care. Yeah, if you're still talking about your ex and it's been a couple of years, you got issues. You need to go talk to someone about, not me.
truly out of this, or even in some relationships, do you realize what you also did in it? It's always they were the devil, they were a narcissist, they were blah blah blah. I'm like, it doesn't need to be spoken about, or you also need to recognize your responsibility in the relationship too. And I've seen that where I'm like, if you're talking about your ex all the time, I don't know if it's not a good look to me.
Especially only maybe just complaining about things that they haven't done and not being reflective.
Yeah.
Is that what the part that was maybe missing?
Yeah.
Is being reflective on how you contributed to the
Yeah.
relationship, even if it was mostly them and you're like, but I did this, or I could have, spoken up about,
Because like there's a common denominator, and I promise you, in every single relationship, you weren't the hero.
Yeah, if you're referring to all your exes as crazy, it's you. It was always you.
Yeah. Okay, so where I'm at now, I'm now in a healthy, loving marriage with a husband who makes me feel safe and cherished in the ways I have never imagined. We've been together for 6+ years. Yes, we met very shortly after my annulment, so I'm glad things worked out. And every day just keeps getting better. He's kind, intelligent, funny, and thoughtful, and yes, handsome to boot.
No.
We have deep conversations about
Did she not find her ex handsome?
philosophy, sci-fi, and the meaning of life, art, everything. He's everything my ex wasn't, and I see now how much happiness I would have missed out if I had fought for that old marriage and stayed. Even if my ex had worked on things, he would never have been able to fulfill me the way my husband does. Oh.
Period. I know that's right.
Chill.
I know that's right.
Therapy, both self-guided and with other professionals, helped me grow tremendously.
So I'm going to pause it here for a moment. I want to see if I can speed read. See, I guess I just really wanted to say, if you're in a bad relationship, please don't stay. Looking back, I can't believe. Yeah, this is long. I'm going to skip ahead. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Knowing that there is something better out there, don't let fear keep you from finding it. I'm proof of it, and honestly, if I had ended up single forever, I can tell you that I would prefer that. In the few months I was single, I realized how bad things were when I went to bed just being glad that there wasn't a new argument or betrayal to discover. Do what is right for you, not what is easy. Love you, Redditors. Thanks for saving people from bad relationships all over the world.
That's some solid advice right there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm actually not really much more to respond on that. I mean, I can't see them saying anything stupid, but I ended up watching two, so I'm going to keep these two together. I didn't mean to watch both of them, but they were both interesting. The first one definitely didn't agree with them. Because she's talking about he had the chills. Let me go back. Since I'm here, let's see. That was this one. That's a response. Let me go back. Let's see. Taller sick. Husband snored my ear. He asked for another blanket because he had the chills. Telling him it's for the bed. He asked for help. Son. Had a nightmare, shake him awake. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like from this, because she said he had the chills, not that he was cold. And I guess from that, I get that, to me, when someone has the chills, that usually means they're sicker than they realize. Their body's not warm up. That's why I think maybe he had the flu. So her saying they were both in the wrong, yes. If it was just what they called the man cold, then yeah, they both in the wrong. But if it really was that he really was sick, and she's blowing up at me, because if I'm sick and then I got someone blowing up at me, I'm gonna be pissed. It's like, well, I'm sick. I'm literally over here shaking. I can't warm up. I got the chills. I got like 50 blankets on me, and I'm still cold. That's not normal. And you're yelling at me? So that's what I said. So yeah, she was in the wrong for yelling. Because again, if the roles were reversed, like I said, every podcast I watch, when they talk about the stuff, I haven't seen one that's. I don't watch Red Pill podcast. Let me put that out there. I think if I watched the Red Pill podcast, they would have been on the guy's side no matter what. They could have been reading the guy beat his wife. Yeah, no, I don't. And again, that's also why I started doing this stuff, because I always like to see if I agree or disagree with them. On this one, I didn't agree 100% with them. If it really was just like the sniffles, then yeah, he was over dramatic. But if it really was based on this description, he had the chills, he was snoring, he had a nightmare. He had to ask Alexa. Usually, if you're up in the middle of the night and you're asking to see what time it is, if you're asking Alexa or looking at your phone to see what time it is, it means you're not sleeping well and you're just wore out. So on this one, yeah, she asked if she was staying home for blowing up. Yes, she was. She should have handled it different. I understand she was tired. There have been I've gone 24 hours without sleeping, and I still never yelled at my wife. I didn't yell at her for that. And the reason I went 24 hours without sleeping is because I had a lot of things going on. I was helping around the house, taking care of the kid. And I was actually in school. So I was being a husband, being a father, working, and going to school. And there's only so many hours in the day. And I had to do a whole bunch of stuff. And the only thing I told my wife is, look, I know we're going to see your parents, but I cannot go. So I'm dead to the world. She understood, and I went to bed after they left, make sure the house was locked up, and I was gone until they got back. I was out. But in the next one here, because I thought it was going to be this one was the update. When I looked at it, I think I thought that from the title. So this is two different things. Okay. I see the plus now. I thought it was all together. But this was the update. So, this one was a long update, and I did agree. I agreed with them on this that, yeah, you need to get out of that relationship. Toxic relationships are dangerous. In some cases, fatal. So, yeah, if you're in a toxic relationship, get out. And if there's kids involved, that's even a bigger reason to get out. And I know men and women both stay in relationships because of kids. It's a horrible reason to stay in a relationship. Do not stay in a relationship for kids. Because all you're doing is teaching that kid that this is what a relationship is. Some kids will grow up and never want to be in a relationship because of that. And other kids will grow up thinking, well, this is normal. You fight, you yell, you scream, you throw things at each other. And no, it's not normal. But I'll leave a link for the full video. They got a lot more stuff they talk about here. But yeah. Wow, this one's long. And I just did another one that was long. So I didn't mean to do them this long. I'm just rambling on. I'll be sure to leave a link. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I didn't say it at the beginning. Yeah, well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And everyone take care. Later.